Studio production begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm Erica Joseph, your host for today's program, and we are going to spend some time today with our finance officer at the Community Foundation, Sharon Dickson. Welcome, Sharon, to the program. We're thrilled to spend some time today talking about the activities and current priorities at the foundation, because this program is really to help highlight some of the current wonderful things that happen in the community and to really focus on philanthropy. And that's one of our primary goals at the Community Foundation. So for anybody who's a new viewer to this particular program or to the Community Foundation itself, could you share a little bit of background on who we are and what we do in the community?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me today. We are a public foundation in serving the areas of, we are a public foundation and we serve the counties of Somerset, Wicomico, and Worcester, and we've been doing that for over 30 years. We work with individuals, businesses, and families to establish charitable funds, and then work with nonprofit organizations to provide grants as well as technical support. And in addition, we offer scholarships and provide nearly $300,000 of scholarships every year to students.
That's tremendous. And I know, working with the foundation, we get to see this all the time. We know the joy that donors have as they're able to, create a legacy for their family, the value that students feel when they receive a scholarship that allows them to go to college. But there's only 8 of us on the staff at the foundation, and so there's a lot of work that goes into all the activities that you summarized there. In addition to the day-to-day folks that are there in the office, we have a wonderful volunteer board of directors. Could you tell us a little bit about how that group helps us and how some of our other volunteer committee members get involved?
Absolutely. As you said, we have a volunteer board that consists of 25 community members. They help guide the organization in decision making as well as grant making and guide the activities that we do to support the community. We have a large number of other committees, all served by volunteer committee members and folks in the community who help, again, make determinations for grants, scholarships, and other activities that we take place in our office.
And they're really the eyes and ears. I mean, they're helping us to connect with organizations who are in need of financial support, spreading the word on the different training programs we offer. I mean, so they're that network. And in 30 years of service to the community, there are literally hundreds of people who have been involved in helping to guide the organization in our history.
You're absolutely correct. And we've been blessed with so many wonderful, bright business leaders, community leaders, and pure philanthropists who really have made a difference in what we do.
And I find what's interesting, and we've seen this, I think, when you're an organization that's been in the community for that amount of time, we've seen that generational commitment, the families that have been involved, an individual like Sue Morris, who's involved so early in the creation of the organization, and then now her son Jim, who's on our board. And so to have that continuity and to have that rich history and sort of memory of that is really invaluable to us at the staff level.
It really is, and it makes a difference for us too, to be able to go back to that core thought process of the founders of the organization and what they hoped to achieve, and helping them see that develop, but also helping them involve their families and future generations of our community in that success.
And I know in talking with some of the early volunteers and donors of the Community Foundation, one of the things that always is just so inspiring to them is the fact that on an annual basis now we're distributing, on behalf of the donors that have established funds at the foundation, more than $5 million annually. And that is just phenomenal in terms of the impact that makes on the Lower Eastern Shore. Where does that money come from?
Well, we establish, or donors establish their funds, and most of those funds are endowed at the Community Foundation. And what that does is it allows folks to invest in the community and provide grant making currently, but use a portion of the earnings from those endowed funds to make those grants and then to have funds available to grant in the future. So it keeps their grant making current as well as on well beyond the timeline.
And the investment focus of our organization, I know, has really been core to our success over the years, because the nature of those endowment funds is that that's not just supposed to be a gift that stays static year after year. Those funds are growing over time because of the diligence of one of our volunteer committees, the investment committee, and I know that you're involved with that. Tell us a little bit about the work that goes in to managing those assets, which are entrusted to the foundation for that longevity.
Absolutely, and I am very fortunate to work with a skilled group of professionals and a dedicated group of volunteers on the investment committee. And you're absolutely right, it is so important. The folks have entrusted us with those assets, and there's a very diligent job done of making sure that those assets are invested in a way that will provide growth, that will provide funds for the future. And that group every year looks at what our investment portfolio is made of. They look at ways to improve it. They look at ways to reduce fees and look at ways to make sure that we are really growing those funds as best we can. They're also concerned about the security of those monies and make sure that the investment decisions that are actually made by our board are ones that provide not only growth but also some stability and security. Because again, our goal with endowment is to have those funds available now and in the future.
And those are truly community assets. They are there for, as we often say, they're for good forever. Correct. Because we are making distributions annually, which help with immediate needs, but those donors who have established those, and these are families, businesses, individuals. I know we've had groups that have established funds in honor of a coworker who they want to make sure that they memorialize, and so those are things that are truly at the heart of those individuals. And our goal is to make sure that this year and 50 years from now, those goals that they've established are being met. Thanks for sharing that. You're with Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm Erica Joseph with the Community Foundation, and I'm joined by our Finance Officer, Sharon Dickson, and we're sharing some of the current priorities and activities at your Community Foundation in the coming months. For this year, we have a really exciting opportunity that we haven't had in the past, and this is because of some new legislation at the state level. I know that our colleagues throughout the state of Maryland at other community foundations are also sharing in our excitement, but there's a new initiative called Endow Maryland that is specific and unique to supporters of funds at community foundations. And this Endow Maryland initiative is something that officially starts January 1st of 2015. Could you share with our viewers a little bit about this opportunity?
Absolutely. Endow Maryland is a tax credit program specific to our state, and it begins January 1st, 2015, as you said. It's going to be up to a 25% credit on gifts at a minimum of $500 to eligible endowment funds at participating community foundations. The Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore is one of those community foundations, and so we're going to be participating in the program. We're going to focus our program on our community needs funds. Our community needs funds provide grants for so many organizations in our area, organizations that serve everything from youth and education to arts and culture, and to human services and beyond. And so we're excited to have a little bit of an incentive to build those funds because they are so important in the grant making in our community.
And so the tax credit is unique to Maryland, individuals and businesses. So you have to be a resident of Maryland. You make a gift to one of these eligible funds at a Maryland Community Foundation. I know that the minimum set by the legislation is $500. The gifts for the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore's Community Needs Funds can be $500 to $2,000. Then they get, the donor will get something for filing, and this is a tax credit on their Maryland state income tax, correct?
That is correct. It's going to be a 25%, up to a 25% credit on their Maryland state tax, so that we will work directly with the donor to complete the paperwork and help qualify them for that tax credit starting in the tax year of 2015.
Excellent. And I know that you talked a little bit already about the Community Needs Funds, which is what our board is focusing this tax credit incentive toward. And this is another example of that volunteer engagement, because those Community Needs Funds provide support directly to our various grant programs annually. And those programs include our Community Needs Grant Program, which is managed by a volunteer committee, our Education Grants Program, which provides grants directly to public and private schools, classroom-based, dollars right into the hands of teachers who are using that to expand the curriculum in their room. And also for some of our emergency programs that happen where, food bank or other small grant programs where there's an immediate need that an organization has, and we're able to tap into those community needs funds to help meet that need. The opportunity for a tax credit like this hasn't been in place before for Maryland Community Foundations.
That's correct. It is brand new for this year. It has been something that has been on our wish list, if you will, for quite some time, but we did work together as a group of community foundations throughout the state, and were able to get the legislation successfully passed so that this opportunity exists for 2015. We are so very excited because it really is an opportunity for folks to become part of the community foundation and really give a gift that will go throughout the entire community. By going through our Community Needs Fund program, those donations will be spent across the different organizations that serve our community directly. Those folks who are the boots on the ground, if you will, in terms of serving those in need.
And I know since you're in the finance department, you get the privilege on a weekly basis of helping to move those physical checks out of the office that go, sort of from the mouths of the grant committee and the board and approving those funds to the community. And you help make sure that those checks get directly to the organizations. And in our last, say, 6 months or so, these community needs funds have provided support to valuable organizations like Health and Human Service Groups. Over the years, we've supported MAC Incorporated or the Holly Community or Diaconia in Ocean City, just a whole wide range of really valuable programs, but also things like the Arts Councils or programs that are culturally significant, grants to Poplar Hill Mansion. So these funds really help to impact the really wide range of philanthropic needs within the community.
You're absolutely right. The spectrum of grants that come out of this program are just about anything that anybody could imagine. The things that people think about immediately are certainly the human services needs, but as you mentioned, we also have grants that are going to arts organizations, and all of these groups really do have service in the community, and do make a difference.
It's
for-
that fabric
Exactly.
of what makes a community vibrant and strong. And I know that over the course of the foundation's history, these particular funds have distributed literally millions of dollars to the community to help with some of these programs, sometimes very modest, in small increments, $500, $5,000. And so it's sort of a testament, I think, to us and our board as we see the impact of these grants, that it's not always the amount and the size in total, but it's that these getting these dollars into the hands of organizations that know how to stretch a dollar and make the most of it, leverage that with volunteers, leverage that with in-kind donations, can really have a tremendous impact on the beneficiaries of whatever those programs are designed to do.
Absolutely. Time has shown that nonprofit organizations, and especially the amazing ones we have in our area, are truly efficient at taking those funds and making the most of them. They've been around for so long in so many cases, but even the new organizations that we're serving, they are very skilled at making the most of those gifts, of those grants that we make to them, and making a difference for the population that they serve.
And that committee, those committees that we have in place that review those proposals, help with that diligence to make sure that we're identifying where the greatest needs are and where the most efficient use of those funds. That's wonderful. Now, back to the Endow Maryland piece for our viewers. We're talking about a tax credit that starts January 1st. There's a limited number. We only have, at least as a starting point from the state, $15,000 in tax credits, correct?
That is correct.
And so if an individual or a business wants to take advantage of this tax credit, how would they contact the Community Foundation to learn more about making that a reality?
The best way is going to be to call our office and speak with our staff. Our number is 410-742-9911. And talking with you or with me or any other staff member, we can certainly point them in the right direction, because what we like to do is make sure that we work with the donor and make the process as efficient as possible to get their paperwork moving and to make sure that we give them the guidelines that are required to qualify for the credit.
Now, I know, and we like that personal touch. We like people to call. It's always a great way to get to know someone and really, have a conversation with them about their goals. Because one of the things that we know at the foundation is that sometimes people, especially who have been generous within the community, have supported an organization or a number of organizations throughout their lifetime, have a desire to want to make a legacy of some type, but aren't really sure how to do it. But they can work with the Community Foundation and make those dreams a reality and carry on that legacy far beyond what they're doing at the present. And one of the ways that many have chosen to do that is through establishing a fund. How does an individual go about starting that process?
Well, we, as you said, work with all types and shapes and sizes of donors. Individuals, families, businesses, all can work with us to support the causes that mean the most to them. That may range from a scholarship for an area of study that they feel is particularly near and dear to their heart, or it might be a service organization or another nonprofit that they would like to support, or work with anyone on our staff to, they can work with several people on our staff to make that a reality. Again, they can contact our office and speak with you or with BJ Summers to talk about what is the priority for them and all the different ways that we can make that happen. There's certainly not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter approach. We know that everybody's need is different, everybody's interest is different, and luckily we have a lot of ways at our disposal to make that philanthropic interest a reality.
And that's, sort of the tools in the toolbox. And I know we've, had just a whole wide range of approaches for individuals to start those funds and make those investments for the good of the community, and for local professional advisors, or for, there's a lot of folks out there who want to sort of scan the information first. They can also visit our website. We have what we think is a great introductory piece, not too much information so that it's overwhelming, but it gives them the basics of how to get started. And can you remind viewers of our website if they're not familiar with it?
Absolutely. Our website is www.cfes.org. And again, it has a lot of good introductory information, a lot of background on the different programs we offer, the different kinds of funds that are available, and will certainly help answer questions for those who are looking to get started. And to your earlier point, that personal touch then that we like to provide when donors have additional questions is something that we're very happy to do, because helping folks realize that interest and support those organizations are really the things that make our job what it is.
And that's true, because I know that for a lot of folks that I talk to, and they realize that I have the privilege of working for a foundation, and you may have had similar experience, that there's always this impression that, oh, to start a foundation you have to be wealthy. People are familiar with, sort of those large national groups, or, the Gates Foundation or others that, really are started by one individual with a lot of wealth that can put that into permanent good. But at the Community Foundation, our approach is to bring together many, sometimes much smaller contributors to help them have those same goals accomplished, but without having to have that tremendous amount of wealth. So it brings it right back to that the focus is on the community there, and every individual can make that difference for permanent good.
You're absolutely right. It is a little bit of a myth, if you will, that wealth is the only thing that is needed for that process. In fact, most of our donors may not consider themselves in that category, but they are certainly making a difference, and they're making a difference every day through their funds or working together. We talked about working with individuals, but we also work with families and businesses and like-minded people who want to get together to support a particular cause or a particular organization, and we are more than happy to work with them and build that together.
And we try, and I know you have been involved in helping to connect both the donor side, the individuals that want to make a difference in terms of a legacy gift or a permanent gift, but then also reaching out to our nonprofit community and working with them to help facilitate grant making, but also to help build the capacity of all of us. We're all learning. We're a nonprofit. There are always things we need to inform ourselves on. And we do that through some specific programming through our nonprofit support program that I know you've been personally involved with. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Our Nonprofit Support Center is a wonderful resource for nonprofit organizations in the area. We offer technical support, we offer training, we make that connection for them potentially with donors, but with other resources. On site we have a database that they can use to look for additional grant opportunities, because there may be needs that they have that we are not able to fill, but certainly we can try to put them in touch with others. We offer a very nice year-round calendar of training events on site, generally low or no cost, and help organizations build those skills that are certainly needed to be successful and to move forward.
Wonderful. And I know we have a few, as we wrap up today, we've been highlighting our Endow Maryland Tax Credit Program. That starts January 1st, and so we want to encourage viewers to visit our website or to call for that information. But we also have some deadlines. I mean, in addition to that tax credit, we have a range of things that are always going on and opportunities for organizations to request funds. And so we have a few of those coming up over the next couple of months.
Absolutely. Each year we have our Community Needs Grant Cycle. Those deadlines for grant applications are on February 1st and August 1st. And that information is always available on our website, but the folks can certainly call our office to confirm what deadlines are coming up. In addition, our Women's Fund has a grant program, and their deadline is usually in the spring, sometime around the March or April timeframe. Again, information will be available on our website, or they can call the office to double check our deadline.
Perfect.
As well. And that number at our office is 410-742-9911.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Sharon, for joining me today. It's been wonderful to highlight. We get to live the programs and services of the Community Foundation, but I thank you for helping me share that with viewers today.
Oh, thank you, Erica.
And you've been watching Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm Erica Joseph. I encourage you to find out more about your community foundation by visiting our website or giving us a call. Thank you.
Would you like to see your community organization or nonprofit group featured on PAC 14? To get started, contact us at 410-677-5014 or visit our website at www.pac14.org. PAC 14 is a great way to connect with your community.